Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So let's talk sex and relationships, right? One of my favorite things to talk about. Let's talk sex and relationships. Now I can give you, right, a lot. I do a lot of life coaching, and I could list a number of opportunities where sex alone doesn't make for a relationship. That's true. But also, sex is not going to help you necessarily get a relationship. And that's what I want to talk about. It's not going to necessarily help you get and keep a relationship. It might get you a situational ship, but it might not, it's not something that necessarily is going to get you a relationship. Now, I know some of you are going to say, yeah, maybe it worked for me. Maybe sex helped you to get a man into a relationship or whatever the case is. But for the most part, it's not going to work. It's just a convenient. It's more or less a lot of times sex makes it very, especially if it's convenient, right, for someone, and so it's easy to get. They don't have to put in a lot of chase into it. If a man doesn't have to put a lot of chase into it, then it's easier for them to get. But it's not going to necessarily bring you the happiness that you're seeking in a relationship, or convince the man to get into a relationship with you. Because I tell you, I know of a number of situations from a lot of coaching that I've done where some women feel like, well, if I give it up to him, and if I give it to him this often, and if I give it to him this way, or whatever the case is, that he's magically gonna take you as his girlfriend or eventually fiance or wife or whatever the case is. So they use sex as a leverage to try to get a guy in a relationship like that. And it might work with a few people, right? But for the most part, that stuff just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Because what you're offering up, if it's just sex, then he can also get that from somewhere else. So hopefully you're bringing something to the table, something else to the table. And then there are those women that I realize, and I'm telling you, this is from a lot of coaching that I've done over the years. A lot of women feel like they have the best vagina, right? They feel like they have the best vagina, and for whatever reason, that once he gets with them, and once he gets, has sex with them or whatever the case is, that they're gonna give him something so magical, so mystical, that he ain't going anywhere else after he actually gets with you. That he's not going anywhere else because you have the magic vagina, right? But that is not the case. It doesn't care how magical and mystical it is. That if a man, again, if you've made it so easily and readily available to him, then all he's gonna go do is just tell his friends about it. But that doesn't mean that he's gonna get into a relationship with you. And so that's the point that I'm trying to drive. Now I hear a lot of people, you listen to a lot of people listening to all this stuff in the music and all that type of stuff about different, types of vagina and blah 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 and all that sort of stuff. And you're thinking, well, all I gotta do is give it to him and give it to him in this way. And look, don't get me wrong, sex is great. Sex is great, especially if you're in a committed relationship with somebody, or if you're in a relationship with somebody where you have an understanding and you all have a sexual relationship, right? But if you're looking for something more long term, and if you're looking for something that is more enduring, and if you're looking for something that's more special and all that sort of stuff, then you've got to really watch the way you approach it. And don't think that, well, I guess you can think so, right? But I'm telling you from experience, and talking to a lot of people, it clearly shows that a lot of women just feel like what they have is mystical and magical, and once he gets a whiff of that he's not going anywhere, and that sort of stuff, and then they're hurt and really like, well, I gave him some of the best sex that he ever had in his life, or whatever the case is, and that's what the next chick down the road is gonna say as well, or that's what she's gonna try to do as well. Give him some of the best sex. That sex is great. It's good. It's a huge part of a relationship. And if you're in a relationship and somebody's not having sex with you, then you really need to wonder who they're having sex with, right? I mean, unless there's some kind of medical condition or something going on, Because if someone is in a relationship with you and it's a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever the case is, and there's no type of sex, then unless you all are just really getting to know each other or really committed in some sort of way, whatever the case is, I'm not saying sex is everything, but if somebody's healthy and can have sex and they're not having sex with you, and you're in a relationship with them, then you got to have a serious conversation about stuff because it's just human nature. But keep in mind, the point is, you know, some women feel like they have this magical, mystical vagina that's gonna make him just change his dirty ways, right? And women love to change, try to change men. They love to take on a new project. And part of the classroom activity, if you want to look at it, is that, or one of the course that he's going to be exposed to, right? That's also a practical course, is going to be the fact that you're going to have sex with him, and your sex is going to be so great because your vagina is so great, and then he's not going to want to. No, 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 no. It doesn't matter how great it is. If a man is no good, then he's going to be no good after it. All he's going to go do and say was, it was good, but that doesn't mean that he's going to commit to you. So you've got to bring more than just that to the table, right? And then there are other people who are going to say, well, men are this and men are that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you got to be concerned about yourself, not about what other people are doing. And then also don't talk about all men are not good. That is not true, right? You got to be most concerned about yourself and what decisions that you need to make. Then that's the problem. A lot of people always, well, this person and that. What decisions that you need to make for your life that is going to hopefully put you in a situation where you are going to find the happiness that you seek, and not to be so concerned or too concerned about what everybody else is doing and saying or whatever the case is, because your happiness isn't necessarily going to be somebody else's happiness, and what brings them happiness isn't necessarily going to bring you happiness. And so you got to make decisions that are going to impact you. But I just felt it was really important I've had some coaching sessions, and I've had some women say that, what, I thought if I gave it to him this way or if I gave it to him that way, that that he would be so well behaved or whatever the case is. Because no, it doesn't care how magical and mystical you think what you have is. I guarantee you, if the man's a dog, I mean, he's gonna be a dog after he has that experience with it. He's gonna say it's good, but that's not gonna make him commit and want to be a husband and want to be faithful and all that sort of stuff. That's not how that works, right? You got to be looking for people who have character, right? Who really want to be in a relationship. They have character. You have stuff in common with them, and it's got to run deeper than sex, right? It's got to run deeper than sex. So let me know what you think. Right? Have you come across anyone who believe they have that magical, mystical vagina, who try to trap a man with it and it didn't work out for them? Right? Let me know your thoughts. Leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, because I post really often, pretty much almost every single day I try to post, and so you'll know when I post. Also, don't forget to share and hit the like button. Those two things help the channel grow, and I'll appreciate that if you do that. Really, really, if you do that for me. So thank you for doing that also. Until next time, be good. Peace.